Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Please comment, subscribe, folks. Comment, subscribe, like the videos. Also, share the videos. I want to thank you folks for liking, watching, and sharing my videos. You folks are the absolute best. Listen, folks, there's a link tree down below. Has links to all of my social media platforms. Please go down there. Follow me across all my social media platforms and talk to me because I'll talk back. Also down there as well as links to all of my YouTube pages. Please go down there, subscribe to all my YouTube pages, and turn on your notifications so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. Listen, folks, Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be talking Jets, all right? I take live callers. We got a lot to discuss, a lot of things going on with this team. Call in. I take live callers. I love going back and forth with you folks about this football team. Now, with that said and done and put to the side, I've come to talk to you folks today about Mecole Hardman. Oh man, okay. Oh man, the Jets and all the circus it just don't stop. Okay. According to reports, allegedly, Mecole Hardman leaked the New York Jets' offensive game plan to the Chiefs and the Eagles this past season, okay? We're going to be discussing that. We're also going to touch on Dion Dawkins as well, coming out in the media and having some foul things to say about the Jets and Michael Clemens, okay? It's just been a wild couple of days, all right? It's just been wild, okay? We're going to start with Mecole Hardman first and all the drama surrounding him, okay? Now, again, the reports about him leaking the plans are alleged, but we're going to get into that situation. Now, this all started with Mecole Hardman going on The Pivot, okay? The Pivot is a podcast hosted by Ryan Clark, Channing Crowder, and Fred Taylor. You know, three great former NFL players, right? They're doing their thing, and that is a phenomenal podcast. They really do great work over there. And he had quite a bit to say about his time with the New York Jets when asked by the Pivot about what went on there and why he was traded away and his thoughts and feelings about his time with the Jets. And I want you folks to hear just a snippet of some of the things that he had to say. Here's what Mecole had to say about the Jets.
What went wrong with the Jets? They trade you. What went wrong there?
Y'all treat certain guys that shouldn't be treated like they should be treated. And I just feel like it's not an established coaching staff there as well. Like, you just got a new coaching staff that came in. It's no standard there. It's like everybody do what they want to do. And defense have a more of a stabilized standard with the coaching staff on that side. So you could tell the defense got a standard, but the offense is just like, all right, we'll just figure it out. It's an Aaron show. Let Aaron do what Aaron do, you know what I mean? But then when Aaron go down, it's like, we don't know what to do. But this is that same coach staff that just was out of a job the previous year and then averaged to get a new job. I know for a fact I'm better than him for sure. Like, I ain't trying to, you know, where I know I'm better than him too. Garrett Wilson, the only person y'all should just be like, hey. So I have no problem with y'all putting around Garrett Wilson for sure. I don't care. Like, that's fine. But when it comes to certain other things, it's like, come on, like, I don't understand why I'm not in the rotation with that. And y'all never gave me a reason as to why either. This my thing was, y'all can't tell me about winning. I've been to 4 Super Bowls in 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Now, you feel me? But beforehand, I've been to 4 AFC championships. I've been to 3 Super Bowls. I've won 2 of them. Like, I know what winning looks like.
Right.
I know what winning is. So y'all keep telling me certain things. It's like, I'm not going for that. Like, because y'all not doing it right. Like, we got hammers on the ground. We don't got no discipline. People feel like it's too many individual egos in this locker room or whatever. And I'm telling them, like, that's not going to get y'all to win. It's not going to happen.
Now, listen. It's crazy that some of the things that we've heard, or some of the things that we just heard from Mecole, right, is some of the exact same things that we've already heard from the leaks from within the building. Some of the things that he said were kind of stuff that, like, that was verbatim, right? So I wouldn't say that he is the leak because we don't know that, right? We don't know who the leak is, but it's just interesting that it's almost like word for word. What the leak was saying, right? And some of the things we already saw, okay? Some of the negatives that he talked about, the lack of plan once Aaron Rodgers went down, the lack of adjustments, not being able to utilize guys. He was a guy that we thought, you know, we would utilize this upcoming season. We were all excited about him when we got him in the offseason, And things just didn't work out that way for whatever reason. But, part of that being Nathaniel Hackett not being able to utilize guys correctly. And we saw that. Nathaniel Hackett's inability to adjust his game plan hurt the New York Jets. Also, the emergence of Xavier Gibson, I think, really hurt Mecole Hardman as well. We saw Xavier Gibson not only step up as a returner, but step up, in the receiving game as well and give us a little bit. Even though the New York Jets wide receivers really struggled outside of Garrett Wilson, I mean, Alan Lazard was horrific this year, right? But for whatever reason, Mecole and the offensive situation just never clicked, and then we ended up jettisoning him to the Chiefs. But there were some surprising things that he said to me. So one of the things was when he talked about him getting into it with Brant Boyer, the New York Jets special teams coordinator, about returning punts. There was a time when Gibson was hurt and he couldn't return, so Boyer came to him and said, "Hey, we need you to return, punts this week. What's up? You ready to go?" And Mecole basically told him, "No, you didn't talk to me early enough throughout the week. You come to me basically, it's around game time. My mind's not even on that. I'm not doing that." And then Sulla even came to him and said, "Hey, we need you to return. What's going on?" And he basically told Sulla, "I'm not returning anything. I don't like Boyer, and I'm not returning anything for him." It's just like, bro, what? Like, that's crazy. No wonder you got up out of there. You're turning down, basically the functions of your job, because one of the things that people were excited about as well, bringing him here, not only some of the speed and the explosion that he would bring to the offense, but that he was a guy that could return as well for us, kick return and punt return, whatever. But we also know that he dislocated his finger in the offseason as well, and he talked about that too, and trying to figure out a way to catch punts with that stuff going on. He also talked about the lack of discipline, as you heard as well, offensively. Guys just kind of being sloppy on the practice field, helmets on the ground, and him knowing, how to win and the focus that it takes, and kind of the Jets team, especially on the offensive side, mostly on the offensive side, not showing that discipline. So that's something that we've heard as well, but that was definitely a negative that I was like, man, the Jets are going to have to clean that up. If that's true, they're going to have to clean that up. But again, we've heard that before from these leaks that have been floating around the Jets. But one of the biggest things that he talked about as well was that he contacted the Chiefs front office before the trade and basically was telling them, "Hey, man, come and get me. I don't like it here. Come and get me." And then they eventually did trade for him, and he ended up back with the Chiefs and won a Super Bowl with them this year. That's tampering. And I think that Joe Douglas and the New York Jets should absolutely push the button on that and make sure that the NFL investigates that. They've got to, because that's tampering. That's something that cannot happen at all, right? So that's something that needs to be investigated. But as this story continued to roll, right, we then saw Jets players chime in as well on this situation. Now, it started from my viewpoint with Thomas Morstead, okay? Now, this is a guy that was a Jets punter, okay, and beloved through this season. Everybody really liked what Morstead brought to the table for the Jets, right? Now, here's the direct quote. He tweeted this: "Be careful getting information from disgruntled former employees. Getting beat out by a rookie free agent after being guaranteed millions of dollars." Xavier Gibson beating out Hardman, right? That's basically what he's saying, okay? Getting beat out by a rookie free agent after being guaranteed millions of dollars is tough to deal with. Entitlement is a killer of opportunity. You have to earn it every year. Okay. Right? Morstead kind of chiming in and letting it be known like, yo, Playboy, you got beat out by Gibson, and now you kind of turning around trying to say things, and you sound salty from my standpoint, okay? So he put it out there. But then it started to really rev up and heat up, right? Kenny Yeboah quote tweets what Morstead has to say, and he responds with, "I like this, OG." Saying, "Hey, I like what you said there. Salutes, okay? I see you." He's lending some credence. And then a person, Sherm, responds to Kenny Yeboah and says, "Hey, Kenny, how do you feel about Mecole?" Right? Now, usually when you talk to players, unless you're close to them and you know something, generally they don't really say nothing, especially about stuff like this, because this is hot. Okay, they know what's up. This is New York. This is not somewhere where you can, kind of shove this under the rug. No, this is real deal. But Kenny Yeboah responds. Okay, now he's talking about Mecole Hardman here. He says he's tripping out. He ain't gonna talk about his own work ethic. Okay, he ain't gonna talk about his own work ethic and how the Georgia Eagles got our game plan. This is interesting, okay? We know that Mecole Hardman is very close to players, that went to Georgia. And there's quite a bit of Eagles that went to Georgia, right? Quite a bit of Eagles that went to Georgia that are on that team, all right? Now, allegedly, okay, that clearly implicates that at least Kenny Yeboah believes that Mecole Hardman leaked the New York Jets offensive game plan to the Eagles players that he's close to that were at Georgia. Right there, bang, right? Now maybe just Yeboah thinks this, okay? That's what I would think. Maybe just Yeboah thinks this, okay? But then Sauce Gardner tweets something. Sauce Gardner tweets, "We ain't gonna talk about how our offensive game plan got leaked versus the Eagles, though." This was completely independent of what Yeboah was saying. No, right? And so the rumors start swirling that there's, things chirping, players from within the locker room that have been coming out and saying that the Jets' offensive game plan got leaked to the Eagles and it got leaked to the Chiefs. Now, apparently here, Mecole Hardman has links to the Eagles because there's players from Georgia on there he's really close to. And of course, he's got links to the Chiefs, right? I wonder who would do that. I'm not saying, because I don't know, but I am saying that there's Jets players that clearly are implicating that Hardman did this, okay? And it's mind-blowing. Now, we know that Mecole has moved on and gone on. He's, won with the Chiefs. But if he actually did this, if he actually leaked the game plan, he is disgusting and that is horrific. That is horrific, man. That is the lowest of low blows. The lowest of low blows. And if he actually did this, I am extremely glad that he is no longer a New York Jet. Because that is not something that you want in your building. This situation with Hardman is wild, bro. It's wild. Comment down below. Give me your thoughts. Now I want to touch on Dion Dawkins and what he had to say about the Jets. Dion Dawkins went on Vlad TV and spoke about Michael Clemens and the New York Jets and called him all kind of things. I want you folks to hear this audio. Here it is.
Get into it with the Jets.
Yeah,
What happened?
weirdos being weird. Weirdos being weird. I don't even want to give a man no credit talking about him, but number 72,
Michael Clemens.
Michael Clemens.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to just keep it a buck. I hate them. All of them, bro. They are all some, like, when it comes to sports, right? There's people that play the sport because they love the sport. And then there's people that play the sport just to try to be cool. I feel like they play the sport to try to be cool. Like, those are a bunch of dudes that just want to take pictures on Instagram. Like, that's whack. Like, I play this because I'll die by it.
Keep in mind, right, him and Clemens got into it. Dawkins and Clemens got into it week 11, and the Bills just destroyed us. I think it was like 32-6 we lost. And he went on to say some things as well about how Clemens was basically cursing at the Bills players, saying F you, F you to all the guys that were over there. He was fed up with it, didn't want to hear it anymore. He didn't want Clemens talking to him or his guys like that. And the first play that his offensive coordinator called, he knew he was going to be pulling to the outside and that he was going to meet Michael Clemens. And so the play was called. He met Michael Clemens, blasted him, took him off his feet, and then he ended up jumping and belly flopping on him, which is how he got the unnecessary roughness call, okay? Which eventually led to a fight with Clemens, okay? Listen, Dawkins is a Bill. We know we don't like the Bills. They don't like us. We'll see them this year. This is going to do nothing but continue to heat up that rivalry. Nothing. You know, he talked about how much he hates the Jets and so on and so forth. Everybody except for Quentin Williams. Blah, 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 blah. We'll see you this year. We'll see you next year, excuse me. We'll see you next year, okay? Like I said, man. Clemens does, need to control himself, though, because we saw him get various penalties. One of the ones where he hit a ref. Seemed to be accidental, but still and yet, hit a ref, put hands on a ref. He got into skirmishes with other players. He got to control himself. But Dawkins is a guy that we're definitely going to be seeing this year. The Bills are a team we're seeing this year. He wants to talk smack about the Jets. I don't care, because it's a division rivalry, and we can't stand them either. So you're going to have to stand on that player. You're going to have to stand on that this upcoming season. So comment down below. Let me know what you folks think. How do you folks feel about the talk about Mecole Hardman leaking offensive game plans to the Chiefs and the Eagles from the Jets? What are your thoughts about what he had to say about the Jets? What are your thoughts about the whole situation? It's getting wild for the Jets. This offseason is really kicking off crazy, and there's just so many things happening left and right. It's insane. Comment down below. Let's go back and forth. You folks have a good one. Peace.